Hello everyone, welcome back to Nimside. First of all, a very happy new year to all of you. Today, as part of the Australia series, we have a very special guest with us. Now, this person has come from India all the way to Australia to pursue his bachelor's. He completed his bachelor's successfully and also managed to find a full-time job. So, he's here to share his experiences. Through this whole interview series, I plan to share knowledge and insights that could be relatable and helpful to a whole lot of people who are planning to come to Australia. Now, moving on to his introduction. Hi Milind. First of all, thank you so much for being here and being willing to share your experiences as well. There is a whole lot of people who are wanting to know your whole student journey and would be really benefited by your experiences. So thank you so much for being here. So why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Okay, so my name is Robert Downey Jr. Just kidding. My name is Milind Rajput. I'm 21 years of age and I came to Australia in the year 2018 to pursue my Bachelor's of Information Technology from La Trobe University. I graduated last year itself and started work as a graduate software developer at a firm software group. And yeah, I've been doing that ever since.
That's good. So when did you exactly graduate?
I graduated in November 2021.
Okay, just now. Yeah?
Just now.
Okay, so you came at a very young age, you're just 21 years old. So why did you choose to study in Australia and why not any other country?
So one of the main reasons that I came to Australia is because the universities here, they're not just aiming to teach you all of the theoretical knowledge. They go the extra mile and they try and instill all of the industry standard practical knowledge in you as well. And that is something that's very overlooked in today's in the education industry, I think. And the other reason is that in Australia, I feel that if your skill level is enough, it's very easy for you to get a job. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how old are you. As long as you've got a certain skill level, you can definitely find a job here. So yeah, plus it's pretty.
Yeah. I think there are other factors also, like weather. Was that a major factor for you? Because I see a lot of people, choosing Australia because of the weather. So how is it that? How is that like?
Yeah, so definitely because the weather does affect a person. Anyone who says it does not, they're either lying or they're trying to be cool. So yeah, initially I was thinking of either going to Canada or going to the United States. However, I did think that Australia, as in Melbourne specifically, it had weather which was just perfect for me. So yeah, it made the decision making much more easier.
Yeah, I think it's a personal preference also. I think there are a lot of people who don't want that kind of sunny weather maybe. Now again, you came here at a very young age. I'm bringing this again and again because it's actually commendable, leaving your family, everyone behind and then coming here and struggling. I know it's not easy. So why don't you share something about your struggle and how were your first few days like?
If I'm going to be honest with you, I did not struggle at all. Just kidding. Yeah, so the first few months they were rough because when you're in India, as you already know that in India pretty much everything is spoon fed to you till you're in college or you've graduated college. So it was a very drastic change. So one day I'm spoon fed and everything's there and mom and dad are taking care of everything, and the next day I'm in a completely unknown land and I have no contacts at all, and now I have to figure out how to get a job, how to make money, how to get accommodation and whatnot. So yeah, it's rough in the beginning. However, it's all about adaptability in my opinion. So if you are adaptable enough and if you know what you need to go towards and like what your end goal is, I think it's something that's only gonna make you grow and make you a better person.
Yeah, oh my God, very well said. So how did you manage your accommodation? Like, was it like easy to find an accommodation here? Did you know a lot of people when you came here initially? Do you have relatives here?
I don't have any such relatives here. However, when I came here, we do have a family friend who actually let me live in his house for a couple of days, but I wanted to get my own place as soon as I could. So realestate.com.au, and there's a lot of student accommodation websites that help you find student accommodations. So it was about a matter of 7 to 8 days when I was able to find an accommodation for myself. And yeah, it's not a very difficult process if you know exactly what you're looking for, and as long as you've got the end goal in mind with accommodation as well, it's an easy process.
Thank you. Thanks for that information about the websites as well. I did mention about these websites in my other video, but yeah, hearing someone sharing their live experiences is always better. Now, moving on to the second question, you told us about your initial few days and why did you come to Australia, etc. So, how was your university experience like?
My university experience was honestly good, considering the fact that half of my bachelor's was disrupted by the global pandemic that we're still living in. However, it was something that the blended experience, as in half of it was during half of my studies I was able to go to my uni, and during half of it I had to study from home. It was something that was really challenging in the beginning. However, as time went by, it became more and more, let's say, bearable. Because in India, whenever we say college life, we think of a lot of friends getting together and going to campus parties and doing whatnot. But over here, the structure is really different in terms of that, and the global pandemic did not help that at all. However, I will say that the variety of subjects that's offered over here in the universities is something that's totally different from what's offered in India, where like one subject is just dragged on for all 3 years of your bachelor's. Over here, every semester you can choose what subjects you want, depending, like of course you've got prerequisites for those subjects as well. However, the variety of subjects, it will only help you hone in your skills. So let's just say if I wanted to become a web developer, but in an Indian university they might be teaching me discrete mathematics or something like that, which might not be as important for a web developer. Over here, I can just focus on those subjects which will actually help me advance my career as a web dev. So yeah, that's just one of those things that I really liked.
Yeah, on that point, I would really like to know, are you doing the same thing that you studied back in your high school, like the same stream? You have a stream there, right? Science, commerce and arts. Are you doing something that's related to the stream?
It's a 50-50 sort of thing. So in my grade 11 and 12, I actually took the humanities stream. But with that, I took multimedia and web tech multimedia and web tech subject. So that allowed me to still stay in touch with the computer sciences stream, but yeah, it was not computer sciences as a subject. As you already know, that computer sciences, it's a very broad subject, and there's a lot of different languages and a lot of different modules that are involved in that. So yeah, I studied humanities. So when I was coming here while applying for the university, when I showed them my report card and my grade card from year 12, that okay, I have done this multimedia and web tech subject, and I do know a little bit about computers and everything. So yeah, you can actually jump stream and go from humanities to computer sciences over here.
Yeah, that's a great thing. I think a lot of people have this question that is it like really flexible to change your course of study and do something else after coming to Australia? So you answered that. So do you have any advice for the students who are planning to come here for their university studies, or do you are there some things that you think you could have done better?
Yeah, there's definitely things that you can always do better. So, like one of the first things that I would say is when you're coming over here, just research your university well. So, if you're going for a discipline that's taught well in a particular university, reach out to people who are already studying it or the alumni of the university. Try and just see whether the course structure actually lines up with your aspirations or not. Secondly, I would say that just think of your finances. Just keep your finances in control, and when you're coming over here, just have a plan for the next 3 years or the next 2 years, considering if you're doing a bachelor's or a master's. Just have a financial plan of what you want to do over the next 3 years. And I think just try and have fun as well, because it's still kind of our formative years. So yeah, just try and have fun along the way as well.
Yeah, point taken. Thanks again for that information as well. Now, moving on to the third question, like what are the expenses for an international student? I mean, what sort of expenses are you looking at when you come here for your studies?
Okay, so I'll start off with the biggest, like major expense that everyone's gonna have. which is your rent. So your rent, your utility bills, which over here is like mainly electricity, water, gas, your internet bills, your mobile data bills and whatnot. These are the major bills that might take up a big portion of your monthly expenses. Besides that, your groceries, if you're into cooking over here, getting the raw materials, it's not that expensive. However, eating out, if you're eating out every day, it does tend to stack up slowly and slowly. So yeah, that's one of those things. And besides that, now look, whenever anybody comes to Australia, or whenever anybody even has a college life in India, no one's just gonna cook everything in their home every day and just do everything like a mundane little humanoid. So yeah, of course you're gonna have more expenses as well. You might go out shopping, you might go out partying somewhere. So those expenses are also there. However, they're optional expenses. So it just depends on what your financial plan is and what kind of financial situation you are in. So it's all majorly circumstantial.
Yeah, yeah. And do you think the kind of part-time jobs that you find here, are they sufficient enough to pay for these expenses and also your fees as well?
The part-time jobs, they're definitely enough. They can be enough to pay your expenses, the ones that I just mentioned. But that also kind of depends. So these expenses that I just mentioned, they also vary. So let's just take an example of accommodation. I might be living alone and that might be costing me $1,200 a month and then bills on top of that. However, if I might live with my friend and we might get a 2 BHK and just get 2 rooms and just split the bills, it might round out about 800 plus utilities, which also gets divided among 2 people. So those expenses can vary, but if you are hardworking enough and if you've got the conviction, I reckon, yeah, the part-time jobs, they should be enough to cover all of your expenses, considering you're not living very lavishly. And as for the fees, so there are 2 main holiday periods over here when you can actually work 40 hours per week and actually make a little bit more money than you would usually while you're in your university study period. So those 2 periods are after the end of your first semester, which is sometime around May, June, July, and that also varies from university to university. Some universities might have that period for like 2 weeks, some might have it for a month, and then after that, in about November, you've got 3 months of holidays when you can either make money or go visit your parents or do whatever. But yeah, it's one of those, these 2 periods are mainly targeted by our students to actually try and contribute and help our parents out who are actually investing so much money to us.
Okay, so you can earn some part of your fees if you work during these periods?
Yeah.
Okay.
Content shared in this video is based on personal experience and research. If you enjoyed the video, like, share and subscribe. Keep watching, keep listening and continue learning.